Hello everybody! Let's talk a little bit of fun today. As many of you are already aware, I do have a Patreon site, and on this Patreon site obviously I'm encouraging people to become part of the community that I'm trying to create on my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to give something back. Originally the intention was some group coaching scenario, but then for the time being I set up the Patreon because here I can give you immediate rewards that are not as time consuming, which is currently my biggest enemy. And one of my students, the one and only Philip, the amazing Philip, was my first Patreon who rewarded me with $20, and his reward in return is two 5-minute blitz games. It's actually optional. He could have chosen 3 3-minute games or 10 bullet games. He opted for the 5-minute one, so I am challenging him now. I will ask him if he wants casual or rated, and part of the deal is that when you donate money to my Patreon site and you get your reward, whatever happens, well, not whatever, but most of the time, I'm going to upload what I'm doing with you or for you, or call it whatever you like, so that the whole action is becoming part of the community and part of what I'm doing on my site too. It doesn't matter about casual. Well, I'm cool with that, buddy. So we are going to challenge once again the one and only Philip for a 5-minute game. Casual, let's go. Let's see how we go. I just had a lesson today with Philip, by the way, so it is going to be quite interesting for him. I think that he's very nervous. Probably he will approve of that when he comments on the video. We shall see. Oh, good luck, have fun. You too. You too, my dear friend. Didn't we agree on playing c4, Philip? Naughty boy. Alright, let's have some King's Indian Jazz, because that's what I always do. Come on, mate. C4. C4. That's it. Good boy. Okay. It's very difficult to step out of the role of the chess coach and then turn into an opponent, really. So that's a bit funny. But I'm trying my best. Philip is playing well so far. In fact, today was a day when we had a lesson with Philip where we realized that very often when he gets out of book is where he struggles with coming up with decent developing moves and decent plans. And it's understandable, because at this level where he is now, knowing openings is sort of keeping you in a comfort zone, and as soon as that ends you are like, oh, okay, so I actually need to do something now. And that's where people tend to come up with not necessarily the best ideas. And in that regard I'm being very kind to my best friend Philip, because I'm playing theory as per I taught him. So now I'm testing his knowledge a little bit. It's actually, yeah, I have to be careful with how I'm doing these things, because I don't really want to talk about Philip only too much, because it feels like I'm exposing him and his weaknesses and whatnot, which is not the point of this. So I will try to change the angle of that. Oh man, there. What about these white dark squares? Alright, so that really shouldn't have happened. A typical example of people misunderstanding moves. The idea of a5 was to secure the c5 square for my knight. Because without a5, when I put the knight here, it gets kicked out by b4. So a5 is trying to prevent b4. Now his plan should be here to still insist on eventually playing for b4, so after moves like bishop g5, knight a6, his long-term plan is to play a3, b4. a4 is absolutely horrid because it gives up both of these squares. And now he has no chance whatsoever to kick my knight out from c5 anymore with a pawn. He can swap it off, but those swaps are really unwanted, especially because predominantly it could be done by the dark squared bishop, which is his good bishop, and he doesn't want to give it up for such purpose. So that was a bit of a hiccup there. Okay, so castles. I will chuck that knight into c5 right away. Pawn is hanging. Queen c2 seems best. Whereupon I should start thinking about moving this knight somewhere, followed by f5 in true King's Indian fashion. He's playing very, very slowly, which is something that I was aware of. Yeah, so sadly Philip didn't notice that e4 was hanging, which is another feature of, or rather characteristics of his play that we're working on, that he tends to not to look at what the opponent is doing. Like, he didn't realize that by putting my knight here, I have created a double attack. So now he's probably cursing me for attacking his pieces. But hey, that's what happens on the street too, boys. When you play chess, your pieces get attacked, so you better brace yourself for this unwanted scenario and defend them. So once again, Queen c2 or Knight d2 was called for. Whereas now, essentially, the game is over. So, to briefly mention these Patreon offers that are on offer, or rewards. So the $20, there is a 20 or less, which gives you a shout out on my channel. And then there is the 20, I gave them some lame names like the Greek Gift Sacrifice, which is what we are doing. 2 games of 5, 3 games of 3 minutes, or 10 games of bullet. The Epic Queen Sec is going to earn you an analysis of 2 of your selected games, which I'm going to upload onto the channel, plus the above. And then the Throwing in the Kitchen and the Sink Sacrifice is going to give you all the above, plus a series of fun games, which is really based on agreement of what we decide to do. You, the Patreon, and me, who is offering the reward, but basically the idea was to play some games with odds. Whether it be time or material is, again, subject of discussion. I'm open to suggestions. Or we can play blindfold, or we can play a combination of the above, plus your 2 games analyzed, plus your blitz games and so on. So this is where we currently stand with the Patreon business. We will see how it works. I already received 4 donations, so this is the first time when I'm actually returning the reward or offering the reward. The other 3 are lined up too, and hopefully will be done shortly. Actually, his most recent moves were quite decent, so that was good on you, Philip. Although g3 was a little bit vague, but bishop e3 was definitely a goodie. And he's being very pessimistic about saying that he's already dead here. I mean, yes, he is, but that's not necessarily a very important thing right now. He should rather focus on how to bounce back, because whilst it's unlikely that he would bounce back against me, without wanting to sound too full of myself, against similarly rated players, this is still anybody's game. And once again, I don't mean to say disrespectfully, but this is what tends to happen on this level. Now, after bishop takes a5, I'm planning on playing queen e7 with the intention of e3. And the bishop is in an awkward spot because he can't really move away without allowing me to take there. Now, for the first time, I'm going to place a bet that his next move is going to a bishop here. I lost the bet. And once again, I don't think that he realized that the pawn was hanging there. So my next move now is rook a2. And now I'm threatening potentially with take and then e3, wrecking havoc. Potentially. Okay, let's do something nasty. Is it any nasty? Yeah, it is. I want him to take so I can take and create a very nasty pawn mess there. And also f4 is a threat, and Philip lost on time. Alright, let's do a rematch. I actually am going to, well, I will try to sneak in a very little analysis as well, just to see how we go. Now this is also an opening that we have been practicing with Philip for a fair while. So I'm really curious to see how much of it is he going to remember. So the line that I taught Philip is the 4 knights here with knight c6, and then if knight b5, then bishop b4, which is a very practical variation to play when you are on this level of chess, because it requires very limited theoretical knowledge, and sadly he already messed it up because he didn't play knight c6. Now this variation is actually quite fascinating, and whilst it is considered to be inferior, if not losing, by opening theory, white actually needs to know here very, very accurate moves, and rather I should say a long series of very accurate moves to refute this line, which by the way, if correctly done, is starting white knight d5 here, when white has the option of either playing queen g4 first or bishop d2. This is not looking that good now because the knight is forced back, and there are lots of weak dark squares around, predominantly d6. Sadly I can't play bishop here because check would win my bishop, and in fact queen check is now threatened to win the pawn there too, which makes me want to play knight b5. Against which the only correct response is castles. Good on you, Philip, for finding that. And now I'm actually in a bit of an awkward spot because I wanted to play bishop d3, but after a6 I'm struggling with finding a square for my knight, because if I drop back to c3 after queen a5, both the knight and the pawn on e5 are hanging, as far as I can tell. Maybe bishop a3, a6, bishop takes, queen takes, knight d6 could potentially be an option. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I played this opening correctly here, but I didn't want to play bishop d2, it just felt lame, so I went for c4, knight e7. Don't know. Feels I'm playing natural moves. Maybe I'm missing something obvious here. Not seeing it yet. Let me think. Like, I don't want to play something like bishop d2, it just feels way too timid. It's not the type of chess I like to play. But it looks like I have to. Okay, at least now after a6 I can jump into d6. Any other case I can develop with bishop d3. Looks like a semi-decent scenario. Although again, I really don't want to play f4. It seems like I will have to. Yeah, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with how this opening went. Maybe in my mad desire to want to refute this concept immediately, I went a bit wrong. Maybe knight b5 here would have been better. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Anywho, f6 or f5 would be the way how I would play this now as black, because black needs to break out so that he doesn't get jammed in after knight d6, and knight f5 doesn't seem to cut it because bishop d3 and then take, and then knight d6 is very unpleasant as far as I can see. So yeah. Ooh, actually after bishop d3 there is a check here. Huh. The guy is definitely giving me a good drum for my money. Huh, pun intended. Right. This is a lot more messed up than I wanted it to be. Yeah, I stuffed this up quite a bit. This has officially been stuffed up. Okay, so the idea with queen f3 is that I'm blocking the check with g3, guarding the rook, and if knight d4, which I expect he will do, then takes, and then queen e4, hitting the knight and preparing for bishop d3, still keeps the position semi-decent for me. But golly gosh, this is not looking pretty. This is definitely not looking pretty. Which always makes me want to go back and see where exactly I lost the thread of what should have. I think c4 is the move to blame actually. Perhaps I just should have played bishop d3 here. Encourage him to take, and then queen g3 and queen g4, capitalizing on my huge lead in development. The more I look at it, the more I like it. And then castles. That's it. And if bishop d3, queen c7, then I can still consider castling and cracking everything open and just do a-okay. Actually, probably it was a mistake to take that. I should have gone queen e4 right away, forcing him to take and then take back. But maybe then f5 was legit, and if takes, then queen takes. Maybe. I don't know. I'm playing a bit too fast now. So expect now knight f5, bishop d3. Maybe d5 is playable here too. Okay, actually after ed, queen d, g4, it's not looking that great. Now that looks rather iffy. All things considered. Alright, let's just castle. I don't really want to invite the opportunity of this check anymore. And yeah, we'll build it up from here. Queen back, bishop b4 will be a plan. Although I have to watch out for this check still. Pawn c5, if I could get him, would be very good. I knew that he would go for that check, by the way, which I don't think is a good idea. d6. Okay, let's win a tempo first on that queen move. And then I'm going to... Well, it depends on where he goes now, actually. Queen c6 takes... I can take my queen. Yeah, I might take that. Okay. Oh, poor thing. Bishop b4 is coming now, buddy. But credit to Philip. He played his game quite well. He played his game quite well. Okay, he really should have taken that, because whilst he's only a pawn down in this scenario, you can't leave with a pawn structure like this. It is absolutely certain death. Okay, reason I played a4, after bishop c3 he had knight b5. And after take, rook takes, bishop a6 would have skewered my rooks. What the heck was that, Philip? It's a free piece, buddy. Alright, well, poor guy is going to lose on time again. But he definitely did put up quite a stiff resistance. Bishop c7, and then this is unstoppable. Yep, that was it. All right. says that was embarrassing, taking the pawn. No, there was nothing embarrassing about that, although I don't know which pawn you're talking about. Oh, there, come on, that didn't matter. You were already short of time. No, there was nothing embarrassing about this. That was a good game. Alright, so these two were the rewards for Philip, and I'm pretty sure that he was quite excited about playing these two games. I'm going to discuss these two games with him on our next coaching session. So, as I said, check out my Patreon site because it's still open for suggestions and recommendations about what sort of things would you be happy to receive as a reward for your generous donations. I think that there are some good ideas among my rewards, but yeah, it's really open to suggestions and ideas. I really want to give back as much as I possibly can. So please comment, please tell me how you think I could make it better, and we'll go from there. This was the first time when I commented on a game like this, so I probably still need to improve on my commentary too, but I felt a bit awkward about talking about my student, and actually out of my other 3 donations, 2 more are from one of my current and one of them from an ex-student. So yeah, I still need to think about how best comment it so that it turns out to be an entertaining video. Anyway, thanks a lot guys for watching. Thanks a lot Philip for your generous donation, and I'll be back with more soon. Thank you.